kind of go ahead and get started. I know you all came because you want to know where the money is, don't you? We'll try to tell you, but we're going to talk this morning. I'm going to talk a little bit about housing rehab, housing rehabilitation, and kind of our role and what we do in the programs that we are affiliated with, and just share some information with you. And everyone's looking for money for rehab. Some are looking for money for new housing, but we find a lot of people, we get a lot of calls every day about rehab. There's my contact information. I'll also have a slide at the end with it on there as well. However, there'll be an additional name added to the end because I don't want to leave my partner in crime out, Miss Brenda Wade. She does a lot of the rehab work. I do a lot of the grant writing and maybe marketing of the program. But Brenda Wade, if you've worked with any housing rehab in our office, she works in that area. So you'll be in contact with her as well. And her information I'm going to give at the end of my slide. I'm going to talk about CHIP. It's called the Community Home Investment Program. That's an acronym. It's the Georgia Department of Community Affairs program that has been around for a really long time. I'm going to talk about the program requirements. I'm also going to talk about a new program from HUD where the ink is not even dry on that yet. We just received funding, the Older Adult Home Modification Grant. I almost have to look at it every time I say it because it's so long. I'm going to tell you about some of the requirements, what we know, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about USDA Housing Preservation Grant. Okay, let's talk about CHIP first. As you can see, I wanted to kind of give you just some examples of what a finished house looks like, the before and after. And there's a lot, there's a lot that has to go on before all of this, this transformation takes place. But as I said, CHIP is a program through the Georgia Department of Community Affairs. Nonprofits, local governments, and public housing authorities are eligible to apply. Those are the only groups that can apply. Residents from communities that don't receive CHIP cannot call our office to get any funding. If you are, since I got these two on the screen, if you live in Camilla and the city of Camilla has applied for the funding, then if you are deemed eligible because you have to meet certain requirements, you can receive CHIP funding. If that local government did not apply, you cannot receive CHIP funding. It has to be a local government, a nonprofit in that area, in that city, county, or a public housing authority. Those are the only groups that can apply. That's just how the program is structured. So we have people a lot of times call our office and they'll say, I want help through the CHIP. And we say, okay, where do you live? And then if we don't have an active CHIP application or grant that we're working through, they cannot receive funding. However, we do refer them to other programs. CHIP mainly, the area that we have expertise in is housing construction. However, in the past, I think 5 years, we have begun to do new construction. We've worked with some housing authorities to do some new construction for some of their residents so they can move from rental into home ownership. And as far as the housing rehab, and I'm going to simplify this because there are a lot of steps. Once a community receives a CHIP grant, there's an application process that has to take place. That's with anything, you have to apply and be deemed eligible. Just say, since I've been using Camilla, I'll continue to use Camilla. Camilla has been awarded a CHIP grant. We provide the application to the city, and residents who live in Camilla or live in the target area, depending on what the application of what area the city wants to target, they can target all of Camilla, or they can just say, we want to work on Jones Street because this is where the problem is. But we have to go by whatever the application says and target that area. Anyway, residents from that area or from the entire city can go to City Hall, complete the application, they date stamp it, blah, 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 go through that process. And like I said, I'm simplifying it because it's just in the sake of time. And if they're deemed eligible, we start repairs on their home. We go in, we have to write up, do an assessment to see what repairs need to be done. And a lot of times people, they don't get everything done that they want to get done because we have a certain amount a certain range that we spend on housing. However, we can go above that if the housing needs it. Because we enter a home and we exit it, we bring it up to code. We don't leave anything undone. And sometimes we have to get special approval to go above that amount. But when as you can see, the before and after, we try to leave the resident in a good state. They sign off on it, that they're satisfied. They get to select a contractor from our list of contractors. So it's like I said, I'm simplifying the process, but it ends up to me for a win-win for everyone. The homeowner gets a home that's safe, affordable, decent, and the community benefits from it because they get additional taxes. Yeah, that home has increased in value. Just overnight, not overnight, within a couple of years, you have become wealthier just by having your home redone because it's more valuable to you now. These are forgivable loans. They have to remain in the homes a certain amount of time. I can't remember what the period of affordability is. I think it's 5 years, but I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Brenda would be the expert. But if they move out of that home or sell that home, they have to pay the funds back. So it's not like you can get a home fixed up and say, oh, I'm going to sell it. I'm going to put it up. You got to stay in it. It has to be your primary residence. You can't have another home anywhere. And you have to meet income requirements. Your taxes have to be paid. You have to have insurance. And think about all the little things that we usually, have to have clear title. You have to own the home. Cannot be heir property. Although Brenda is very good with working with family, trying to clear up titles as best she can, because y'all know anybody that works in this and does this that's a expensive kind of process. But Brenda, she's very good at it, and she finds a way. She really does. As I said, you see the eligible applicants, you see the funding amounts. For rehab, it's just $500,000. It used to be 300. So just imagine, especially in today's market with supplies and everything going up, it's really difficult to get everything done that you need to get done. We don't do as many houses as we would like to, but once you start a house, you got to finish it. And like I said, when the applications come in, the first eligible person, that's the first house we repair. Next eligible person, that's the second house we repair. If they use up all of the funds, that's all we do. But Brenda has been doing this for a minute, so we're usually able to get about 5 to 6 homes out of that $500,000. For new construction, that's the amount that we have. And the new construction that we've done, we get 3 to 4 homes out of that, believe it or not. That's a whole nother process. They have to submit a design and the cost of all of this is a process, but these are funds that are available. The application deadline for CHIP, if you're thinking about it, you'll have to do it next year because we just submitted the applications for this year. So if you're a community or you live in a city or county, you want to approach your government about it, or if you're a local government that's here today or a nonprofit, you can apply next year. You do have to, let's see how to explain this. The application is a competitive process. They don't award but about 8 applications in the whole state of Georgia. So you can imagine it's a competitive process. So they look at your experience, they look at all of that. So it's kind of hard to kind of be, so to speak, a newbie coming in and have no experience and get it funded. We work with a lot of nonprofits. We work with cities and counties. And I tell you, if you don't have the experience with grant writing, you can buy it. So they use our experience as theirs. So we manage the grant, we administer the funds, we guide that whole process. And as I said earlier, residents who are eligible for the program, I told you they have to meet income requirement, and we go by HUD's requirement at the area median income. They have to have homeowners insurance, their taxes paid, and I left that off. They do have to have like the clear title because we do have a lot of heir property in our region, and But like I said, Brenda is really good. She works with the homeowner to try to clear that up. Moving on from CHIP. We just recently received from HUD 1 million. I know that sounds like a lot of money, but all of it is not going to housing rehab because there are other players that are in this. And I'm going to tell you as much as I can about that because we just signed the paperwork. We don't have all of the details worked out. The only thing I can tell you, if you're present today, stay tuned to our website. We will put information in the local paper, on social media. But this grant specifically is for seniors. Those are the 62 years of age and older, so they can remain safely in their homes and age in place. So those are the type repairs that we are going to be doing for the elderly. And this cannot be, it's going to be layered with a lot of the other funding that we get because we're not going to, we would try not to spend because the money is capped, $5,000 to $7,000 on a home. That's not a whole lot of money. However, if we put it, if we layer it with a lot of the other funding that we get, it does really maximize the amount of money that we can spend. As I said, it's mainly for seniors. And we don't determine what modifications have to be done. We'll actually have to have an occupational therapist to come and go into the home, do an assessment. And our team, we have actually got staff that go in and do write-ups as well, work write-ups. And they'll work together, determining what modifications are necessary. And you know, I have no idea what those modifications, the common ones are, but you can imagine as you age, some things that you cannot do. And it could be things like a handicap bathroom. It could be, I don't know, maybe mobility issues. It could be widening of doors. I'm just speaking, you know, I'm not sure, but those are the type of repairs that we're going to be doing. We don't know what that process is going to look like, but the only thing I can tell you on that is kind of stay tuned. Okay, the performance period for this grant is 2 years. So we've got it sounds like a long time, but it's not really when you're working with the entire region. And it's not, that's a great thing about this grant, that a lot of the CHIP programs, they are focused on one city, county, or area, but this is the entire region. So definitely we feel like we can help a lot of people improve their quality of life, be safe in their homes. We are working on an application process, but definitely we're looking for more contractors. Yes, I don't know if anyone's on the call this morning that deal with contractors. They are few and far between. So we're always looking for contractors. They do have to have they do have to get on the state approved list. So sometimes that's a big jump for contractors. They're, you know, financially and just sometimes their experience. Sometimes they're just handymen and they just can't do it. But if you have or know of any qualified contractors, please share that with us. This is just some of the things I've already said as far as, you know, the target group that we're looking at. One, and I added the slide in at the end because I actually forgot. USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, has a housing preservation grant. And we applied for that grant and have been applying for it for probably 10 plus years. We have an application in right now, and they haven't made an award yet that I'm aware of. If they have, they didn't notify us, or maybe we didn't get any this year, but we do get a small amount of money for that we can use for the region. And these are just some eligibility requirements. We do have an application process that has to be completed. And some of the repairs, because it's such a small pot of money for the entire region, we do have to kind of target the repairs that we can do. We can't, sometimes people call and they'll say, oh, my roof needs repairing, or this needs doing. We cannot do all of that. If you need extensive repairs, the Housing Preservation Grant program is not for you, because our money, you know, one house could take up all of the money that we get. So we try to target, if you just need a roof, you maybe need a handicap ramp, you need heating and cooling unit, or you need a handicap bathroom. We usually try to do one, not a combination of those. Those are just the common ones. There could be others, but those are the main ones that we try to focus on. So if, like I said, you have an application process, income requirements, and some of the same things that you meet for the other programs, that you have to have your taxes paid, you have to have insurance, you have to own the home, so you have to have a clear title, and what else? Taxes, insurance, clear title, income. So it's some of the same requirements that you have to meet. We do have waiting lists for all of these programs, especially Housing Preservation Grant. And we work from a waiting list because sometimes we start, and as I said, you work through working on homes and you run out of money. It happens. So we place people on a waiting list, and as we get funds in, we reach out to those individuals. That's my contact information. I would be the person to contact primarily about the older homes, the HUD funding, the older homes, older adult modification funds. And Brenda would be the one to contact about CHIP and the Housing Preservation Grant.
My question is, how important is the housing plan for the CHIP grant?
Oh, okay. Yes, ma'am. Rolling back to the application process, communities that want to apply for the CHIP program, anyone that writes grants knows that it's very competitive, and it's all about scoring and how your application scores. Well, one of the requirements for CHIP that you get points for is if you have, many times the grantor wants to know that this is in your plan, that you didn't just see an announcement about, oh, here's some money for housing, and I think we'll go after it. They want to know that it's not a knee-jerk reaction. They want to know that you have planned for it, that you thought about it, that is in maybe a city plan that you have, or that you have a dedicated housing plan. We work with communities that maybe have not included it in their comprehensive plan, which is a whole nother discussion. If you don't know what a comprehensive plan is, it's a whole nother discussion. But if they don't have it in some plan, if they don't have it in a comprehensive plan, we try to develop a housing plan for them. They get points by having this housing plan, and the housing plan has to have certain criteria. Number one, they have to have a housing plan. It gets a point for that. It has to be a plan that's developed with community input. It has to be a plan that's been adopted by the city or the county. And lastly, it has to be a plan that targets a certain area. Now, that area could be the entire city or the entire county, and that's okay. Or it can be, like I said earlier, Jones Street, Maple Street. It could target a certain street or streets, or it could target the entire community. So if a city or a county housing authority or nonprofit has a housing plan or some type of plan that addresses housing, they get points for that. So it is really important, if you're applying for CHIP, to have that a housing plan or some type of plan in place. It's extremely important. It's almost, and I shouldn't say this, but I guess I can, because I've written a lot of them. It's almost, I think, impossible. I won't say impossible, because you never know who the other applicants are going to be. But it's going to be really difficult for a community to get funded if they don't have some type of a housing plan that meets that criteria.
And also in that plan, the goal has to be rehab.
Yes, has to be rehab. I would suggest, I would suggest, if you're going to take the time and maybe spend the money to do a housing plan, make a housing rehab and the new construction your goal, so that you're covered either way you decide to go, and you don't have to redo or update your plan if you're going to apply for CHIP for new housing, or maybe you start out doing rehab and then later on maybe you want to do new housing. So I would suggest putting both of those goals in your housing plan so that you're covered either way.
Thank you. That's all I have.
You're welcome.
Sheena, Barbara, this is Shirley.
Yes.
I see in the chat box,
Okay.
I think BJ asked what age for the seniors. Then she got starting at 62, or what age?
62. Yes, ma'am. It's 62 and older. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
62 and older.
Mary would like to say something.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning to everyone. Under the grant for the USDA Housing Preservation, you say it's available in the rural area, and also you can only choose one.
Okay, it's available. Okay, probably, let me back up just a little bit. The agency that I represent is Southwest Georgia Regional Commission. We cover 14 counties and 43 cities. That means that we cover all of the counties and the cities that are included. The Housing Preservation Grant that we receive, we can use in any of those 14 counties, in any of those 43 cities. So when you, just like if you announce anything that you have money, there are a lot of people that call and need repairs, in addition to people that we already have on the waiting list. So we have to set priorities, because if we didn't, we probably wouldn't do but one house. So we focus and we target on if a roof is all you need, and please don't try to trick us and say a roof is all you need and we go out there and it's more than that. If a roof is all you need, we'll do that. If a handicap bathroom is all you need, we'll do that. If a ramp is all you need, we'll do that. What is it? Roof, HVAC, heating and cooling, handicap bathrooms. And that's we do just one thing, because we just don't have the money out of that particular fund to be able to do all of that.
I understand. So, can you apply for that now?
Yes, ma'am. You can contact Miss Brenda Wade at the sign up 229-522-3552. Her extension is 105.
Okay.
There's an application process, because this is USDA is a federal agency, so there are guidelines that we have to meet, and one of those is that you got to meet the income requirements. And I mentioned some of the others earlier, that you have to own the home. So she's going to want to see a deed, and you have to have insurance, because you got people coming to your home doing work, so you need homeowners insurance and taxes. Now, sometimes that's a problem, but Brenda is really good about working with people, we do have to work with them, because, everybody can't just go in and pay their taxes, up front. Some people pay it in, installments, but she's really good about working with them on the deed and the taxes that have to be paid.
Okay, so once you apply, so are you placed on a waiting list at that time?
If you apply, and she deems you eligible, sometimes she can go, depending on who she has on the waiting list, sometimes she'll go ahead and can do those repairs. It just, the applications are rated based on the severity of need and the types of repairs that are needing to be done. So it's possible that you could apply and you could still be bumped up from people that are on the waiting list, because your need is greater.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
This is Kahid Cosgrove. I do
Yes.
have a question in regard to how do contractors become registered, and what's the process and time frame that it takes?
We might need to have a sidebar conversation. Brenda would probably be a better person to ask, because I know you got to be certified with the state. You have to have proof of workers' comp. I tell you what, do you mind having a call after this? Because I think it might be a bit more involved than what I could share with you. But you do have to be licensed, naturally, and there are a lot of state requirements that you have to have. I don't want to give you incorrect information, because there are a good bit of certifications that you have to have. And that's what I think is a barrier and challenge for a lot of the contractors we get. We know a lot of people in the region that can do good work, good quality work, but sometimes they just can't get the certifications that they need.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I would love to have a call after this Zoom. That would be great.
Deuce has his hand raised.
Oh, Deuce? And you might be able to share some Deuce might be able to share some information as well on the contractors, because he does this work too.
Yes. Well, I had a couple of questions and clarifications on that. So when you say state approved, are you talking about a GC having a general contractor license, or is it another certification?
I think it's general contract. That's why I wanted to answer him offline. That's not my area of expertise.
Okay.
Brenda does that. Now you can speak to how your contractor is probably some of the same information.
Yeah, well, my process is that they will have to be registered with SAMS. So and it doesn't cost anything. It's just going through it and letting know the government how your entity is made, how it functions, what it operates. And then the other things that you talked about having obviously general liability, but also workers' comp. Then I had another question for you. So I noticed
Yes,
that your SHIP grant, you no longer are only putting municipals, you're also putting nonprofits there. So are you saying that a nonprofit could apply for that?
Yes, that's not me. That's DCA. They changed the rules. Yes, sir.
Awesome, awesome. So if so, do you help with that? Do you help nonprofits with that?
Well, we work with nonprofits, but normally if we do, it's kind of in partnership with the city or the county. That is primarily who we work with. Not saying that we don't ever work with nonprofits, but when we do work with nonprofits, it's usually in collaboration or partnership with a city or a county. Like I said, right now, I'm working with a nonprofit to do a domestic violence shelter. However, the city is going to be the applicant. And see, that's how that has to work. The city, well, with the nonprofit and the housing authority, they can apply on their own. But it's always, I would advise having a conversation with the city, only because sometimes the city is making the same application. I have that situation going on with CHIP. Like the nonprofit wants to apply for it and the city wants to apply for it. But they had a conversation and they agreed. One will apply 1 year and one will apply the other year. But you're probably not in any danger if the city is not interested in CHIP. That would be good. But yeah, we would, if this is your first time, you're a nonprofit and this is your first time out, you would probably have to partner with someone that has the experience like us or some other entity to get the scoring that you're going to need to get the application funded.
Awesome. I would like to talk to you some more about that later after the call. Yeah.
Sure.
You know, we cover most of the region you cover.
You sure do.
So if would it mean talking to all of those cities throughout the region, or can we apply for?
If you, because you all are considered a nonprofit, Deuce. Well, you could apply on your own, but you may want, like I said, you will probably have to partner with us because when it comes to your years of experience administering and working in the CHIP program, you wouldn't have that. You would on your own, you would score 0.
Gotcha.
But with us, you would get the highest score in that area.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And
Any other questions? Oh, no, I'm looking at chat myself. Make sure.
well, I think we're just gonna, since Deuce is up on the screen, I think we're gonna move right along. Because Sean had similar question to what Kai had. How can we contractors know about the jobs?
Okay, and what I'll do, Sheena and Deuce, while you're doing, I'll try to scramble and see if I can find really quick some of the requirements, and I can come back on and share those. If not, we'll send those out to everyone that's on the call this morning.
Okay.
So I'm up next.
Your time is up. Go ahead.
Well, good morning. It's nice to meet you all and get to see your names and faces of some of you guys. My name is Deuce Neil Alvarez. Everybody knows me by Deuce. My role here at Community Action is I'm the housing director. So I manage anything that has to do with housing. The program that I'm going to talk about today is weatherization. And just to kind of give you some places to go through in case you are looking to have your home modified so that it can save energy. And I have a little slideshow, and I'll share that with you now. But at the end, I'll take any questions that you may have. So let's see if we can share. All right, so you may ask yourself, what is weatherization? Well, weatherization is a program by the Department of Energy. The focus of it is to reduce the energy costs for low-income households and to increase the energy efficiency of their homes. So as a result of that, we also, besides saving money, we also get homes to have healthier homes. And as you see, it is the nation's largest residential whole energy efficiency program. Uh, it was created to also increase jobs and to make the technologies that we sometimes don't think about on how to save energy at the same time that we live in our homes. We have to live in our homes, so the program allows us to do both things. If you guys can see the next one, so our target population is low-income household. Something very interesting about that, we see that low-income households spend 13.9% of their income on energy, as opposed to other people who are in better condition. They only spend 3% of their income on that. So that's why the program is targeted that way for low-income household. And it's not included there, but we are 200% of the poverty guidelines for weatherization. So how does weatherization work? Well, we focus on what does the house need to be energy efficient. In the past, and some of you guys and girls may know weatherization as windows and doors. That's no longer us. Weatherization now is very technical. We go into the house and we do an assessment of the house. It's called a blow door. So it's a pressure test that really puts the house in worst case condition, and then we're able to identify where the house is losing the most energy from. Is it the attic? Is it the windows? Is it the crawl space? Once that is identified, we seal the gaps or we address the issues that are causing the house to lose the energy. And after we do that, we retest the house again, and we try to get the house to where it is as tight as possible, but also we try to leave the house where it would not create a problem for those residing in it. You know, we want to have a balance on that. We want to save energy, but we do not want to put people in harm's way. So for that, as you can see here, we add insulations to attic. This is before an attic, how about 80% of our homes that we go to have no insulation here in the South. It doesn't get as cold as it does in the North. So insulation is not important to a lot of people. So as builders build, they don't put that into their budget to reduce the cost. Our job, we come behind them. We air seal the attic first, allowing no air, no conditioned air to go into the attic. And then after we do that, we insulate to R38 is the level we're insulating now, but we really insulate to whatever the software deems that is the most efficient and for that household. Also, as it highlights here, a lot of the participants of weatherization are those who are disadvantaged. That is the elderly, that is pregnant mothers, that is people who otherwise, without this updates, they could not afford them by themselves. So that is our target area. Then another neat fact about weatherization is that the money we put into weatherization, for every $1 you put in, you get the benefits of 2.78 cents of non-energy benefits. What does that mean? Well, a lot of times we look at a bulb, a light bulb. You know, most of our light bulbs are incandescents in our house. If you could just think that with the amount of energy you burn one incandescent light bulb for an hour, you could burn 10 LED bulbs for an hour. It doesn't seem like much, but when you live in the house and you burn that bulb for many hours, it adds up. And so those are some of the benefits of having your home weatherized. We go through, we make sure that there is nothing missed in the sense of waste. And besides that, we also address matters such as your bathroom fan, I'm sorry, bathroom fan, and your hood vents. And we ensure that also that your units are the correct size for your home. So some houses that we have weatherized, as we get there, the unit is undersized or oversized. Either or is bad for the home because it will not move enough air to ensure that all spots in the house are comfortable, and also it can generate more. It can cause the house to have high humidity levels, which also causes for mold, mildew, things like that. So that is the focus of weatherization. Let me stop the share. Uh, we we are based out of Moultrie, but we cover 14 counties. 14 of our core counties are the same counties as the regional commissioner, but we also cover Clay, Quitman, and Randolph County. To apply for weatherization, I will put my contact information here for those of you who want to pass that on or want to apply yourself. And all that you need, everything that you need will be provided for you. Once you send me an email, we will send you an application. We will email you an application or mail you an application, whatever you prefer. You will need a proof of identification. You would need your light bill. You would need the social security of anyone's in the homes, and it is income based. So for those who are 200% below the poverty guidelines, you will qualify. A lot of our clients, or a lot of our older clients, because of the housing stack, the houses we address, we have to come in before we do weatherization and address some of the items that Barbara was talking about. And that's why I was asking about that grant. Sometimes we get to a home and before we can start weatherizing, we need to address a roof. We need to address a leak or replace a roof. We need to address a weak floor, or we need to address a bathroom situation. We have a small percentage of our DOE funds that is labeled weatherization readiness funds. And when I say small, I mean small. It's only about $40,000 out of our yearly grant. So that doesn't allow us to do many homes. That's why we try to get creative and bundle other resources so that we can address those the needs of the homes before we are able to weatherize them. But the focus of weatherization, in essence, is to save energy and adjust a little bit the way you live in your home, but make it a healthier home for yourself at the same time that you are saving energy. That is the program we have. We're doing about 160 people a year we cover within the area, and everyone that lives in our core counties are welcome to apply. I'm gonna put that our webpage as well, in case you want some more information about that, and my contact information, so you can reach out to me. That's my presentation, Gina. If you guys have any questions, or girls, I will take them.
Do, and I don't have well, I got a couple of things. I just want to, in complete transparency, Deuce and I worked together. Our agencies work together as well as USDA. USDA has a rehab program, a loan program that helps with rehab. I always get the numbers confused, 502, 504, but it's for elderly. It's a small amount of money. You can get a loan and you can get a grant. So we try to work with USDA. We try to work with Community Action Council. So when we do get a home, we reach out to them to see, hey, is this person on your waiting list? So we all work together to try to get that done so that we can maximize our dollars. Like Deuce said earlier, he has a small amount of money. We have a small amount of money. So, that just makes it easier and makes the money, go a lot further. I saw about the installation. I've always wondered about it. What's the best type? Because you see foam, you see this, I don't know what you call the other stuff, but what's the best type insulation?
So it depends for your house. Encapsulation is best because what you're doing with encapsulation when you hear foam is you're moving the thermal barrier, the outside. You're moving it to your attic. So you're bringing your attic essentially into your home. So it's going to, it's like to say you're putting a shield around your house. It is best, but it's the most expensive one.
Expensive.
Yes. So that's why most people would go with bat insulations for their walls and bat with craft paper because it has a little bit of a moisture barrier. So it stops moisture from moving through the solids. So that's what people use on their walls. And then in the attic, as you saw there, blown in, it seems to be best as far as keeping the R value for the longest time. R value is the measurement that has been designed to see how heat travels through the solid. And since insulation is blown in the essence that it is not completely solid, it slows down the process of heat traveling through. So our blown in seems to be the best insulation for your attics here in the South, where as maybe up north, another insulation with maybe another moisture barrier would be better. But here in the South, that seems to be the best insulation.
Thank you.
I put my contact information and our website and the program for your reference there. If you have any questions or you need to talk to me about that, that's there. Also, for the gentleman that spoke about contractors, we have a contractor pool of 9 contractors right now. They all do these updates to the homes. We here we help you through the process because we know that sometimes it's a daunting process that we do not normally have to go through. So we helped our contractors through the process to get a SAM registration and be certified for that. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me. I can help you through that.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I will.
You're welcome.
Okay. Sir, we're gonna turn the floor over to Shirley now. If there's no more questions.
Okay, great. You're back to me. Again, thank you all. More information coming your way for our next educational sessions. For the month of March, the topic will be advocacy, and we're showing that that one will be held in Pelham. And for April, the topic will be housing resources. We'll get back with you on the location on that one. And for May, our annual housing conference, which we're definitely looking forward to. And the theme, potential theme is Build Rural, and it will be on May the 13th, 2025. So please just kind of mark your calendars, and our meetings are the second Tuesdays of every month at 10 a.m. You will have more information will be coming your way so that you can register. So please keep a check on your emails. We are so happy that you made it today, and we would love to see you at our other educational sessions. And again, please excuse the voice, but I just wanted to let you all know that you're always welcome and looking forward to seeing you at our other educational sessions. And again, thank you all, our speakers today. Thank you all for the dynamic information that you provided. And their contact information was put into the chat box. So by all means, reach back out to them for any questions that you may have. Okay, Sheena, I believe that's it.
That's it. You all have a great day.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you all. Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.